Sure. Well, my name is Charlie Mouch. I'm a second year at the medical school here at U of M right now. I did my undergrad here at the University of Michigan as well in the School of Kinesiology, so I've studied movement science. Probably some of you guys are in movement science as well. But I grew up in Troy, so not too far away, and then came here. And really, when I started undergrad, I think I had an idea that I wanted to be a doctor, but I needed a lot of time to explore and to figure out that that's exactly what I wanted to do. And probably one of the most important things for me as I kind of started on that process was getting involved working with people who have disabilities. And I think that was really my main motivator to get into medicine, was seeing these people, mostly kids who I'd met, and just the different medical struggles they had, but how they so consistently got over the medical bit and lived their lives with just this huge bit of joy and determination to use everything that they had. So that was really inspiring to me and kind of led me to where I am now. So I'd be happy to answer, as we go through this, any question you guys have about pre-med stuff, undergrad stuff, medical school stuff, and maybe where I hope to go in the future. I think that'll be good.
All right, so my name is Katiuska Molina-Luna. I'm a doctor in neuroscience. I obtained my degree from the University of Tübingen in Germany. I have a little bit more of a non-traditional path. I started out as a medical student back in Venezuela, and then I moved a little bit around, got a scholarship to do a master's in Germany, decided that I really wanted to get into research, and continued on with my PhD there. I did a brief one-year postdoc in Switzerland, did community work in Venezuela, did something completely different, was a youth orchestra conductor for a year. Yeah, it sounds diverse. And I also really enjoy working with patients and kids that have movement disorders. And this is my third year as a postdoc at the U of M. I was born and raised partly here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And right now, I'm, in addition to my full-time appointment as a postdoctoral fellow, I'm adjunct faculty at EMU. I'm teaching introductory neuroscience. And I hope to establish two different lines of research. I do basic research working with mice that have movement disorders. I try to figure out how to help them recover movement. And my other line is a translational line where I'm trying to work with patients that have a cerebral palsy, trying to use music as a learning platform to recover movement in these patients. And I'm currently applying for faculty positions.
Hi, my name is Zochowski. I think some of you may know me. I definitely know all of you. And actually, right now, it's much nicer to look at you in this setting than when I see 200 of you over there in front of me. So, I'm Polish. I actually, after my PhD in theoretical physics, I came to the United States for postdoctoral positions. And my first position was still being a bona fide theoretical physicist in Florida Atlantic University in Center for Complex Systems. And then my second postdoctoral position was at Yale University in School of Medicine. That's where I started rapidly my transition towards biology and mixing physics and biology. No, actually, it started already earlier. The models that I did, or the physics that I did, was so-called statistical physics of Ising models of very simple neural networks. So I already kind of specialized in that being in Poland. But later, being here, I started doing experiments and actually on mice, on turtles. And now I'm kind of continuing to mix those two approaches, so nonlinear dynamics and physics with biology and neuroscience. And I work with, we have a lot of collaborations with people from medical school. Actually, we don't know some of those people in the Department of Neurology, in the Department of Anesthesiology, and also in psychology in LSA. I'm happy to answer your question.
Okay, we can open the floor up to questions now, so you guys can go ahead with the questions that you came up with.
Sure, I had a question. You're into med school now. Like, what were the most important things that you needed in order to get into med school?
As far as the actual application itself?
Yeah, as far as your resume, like, what were the most important things that you needed to have on there?
So I mean, for me it was looking, what med schools want is they want a whole person. Right? They don't just want someone with a bunch of numbers and that's about it. So for me it was trying to maximize every single area of my application. So that starts with your grades, and that starts as a freshman and carries all the way through your senior year. So you want those obviously to be as high as you can to represent you in that way. You think about the MCAT is the other kind of objective numerical benchmark that schools can look at you. But beyond that, there's such a broad array of things that people do that make them attractive candidates to med school. So for me, it was kind of detailing my involvement in different extracurricular clubs. So I was pretty involved with the club cross-country team here. You know, it had a lot of different things. You know, we won national championships one year, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing I was able to offer at med school. With that, and then my work with disabilities and people who have disabilities, I thought it was a pretty cool thing, and I was able to use that to kind of emphasize why I wanted to be a doctor and how I kind of arrived at that position. A lot of people also do a lot of research. I kind of dabbled. I didn't really have any real hardcore projects that I was involved in, but I wanted to see that because it's such a big part of medicine. There's that. A big part of the medical school application is the personal statement, which, what year are most of you guys? Okay, so sophomores and juniors mostly. The medical school application is kind of split into two parts. There's the first part, which is called the primary application, which is basically a generic application that you send out to every single school you're interested in. And the primary application has your grades, your MCAT, basically a list of your activities like a resume would be, and then it also has a personal statement, which is basically a one-page essay that shows exactly who you are and why you want to be in medical school. And so I think being able to have a clear story, both of who you are and why you actually want to be doing this for your career and the rest of your life is a really important thing. And so based on that, medical schools will decide to send you a secondary application, which is a bit more detailed, a lot like your undergraduate admissions application. So there's some essays. So like for the Michigan one, I think I had to describe an obstacle I'd overcome. I had to describe something I'm passionate about, and I forget the third. There were 3 essays. And each school is a bit different, so there's a lot of time you kind of have to put into writing essays. And then, each school might want a bit more about extracurricular activities. They might want a bit more about your academics. And then kind of going in between these two are letters of recommendation, which is something you want to be thinking about because really you want to have people who know you write your letters of recommendation. And you can comment on your character as well as your potential academically. So for me, my letters of recommendation came from a bunch of different places. My professors here at U of M were a really important part because med schools, they actually specify that they want a science teacher, especially to write one of your letters of rec. But it also came from different community organizations I was part of, from different jobs I'd had, different internships I did during the summer. So I think really, you want to portray yourself in the best possible light as a complete package, right? Someone who's got all the talents, all the skills in the world and wants to use them into the very fullest in the field of medicine. I think that was kind of the approach I took when I was just getting started.
So I think many of these applications, what you have to think about is why that school is a good fit for you and why you're a good fit to the school. So all the information that you can possibly gather about that school is good. And if you are thinking, I don't know how many of you are actually thinking of pursuing an MD PhD, but if you're considering going towards that route, for example, it's good if you can try to establish a connection with people that are working at the university that do research there and try to figure out whether that's something that you'd like